All right, hey, just wanted to check in because I finished another great book, Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. This is about the end of the world happening, and pretty much, I believe it's everybody in a building gets kind of just squished and killed instantly, and everybody else who survives, I think it's about 10 million people, get transported into these dungeons that are very video game-like, and there's levels to the dungeon, and we start on level 1. And the people are explained that they have stats based on, how they did in real life before. And if you die in the dungeon, you die for real. Everybody you know is dead. And the dungeon is made up of all of the bits and pieces of Earth, like the cars and smashed buildings and all of that kind of make up the dungeon. And their goal is to find their way through the dungeons to the next floor, and able to move on. And there's different enemies and bosses on each dungeon, but the catch is that this whole thing is being televised to every other race and every other species in the galaxy or in the universe or whatever. Everybody's watching, and they all follow and watch. It's a TV show, and they can follow their favorite crawlers, or what they're called, the dungeon crawlers, all the humans. They can follow their favorite crawlers, and Dungeon Crawler Carl ends up being a very popular one. And this isn't a spoiler, I'm not going to do any spoilers in this, but he's a very popular crawler amongst all of the galaxy, and gets a lot of followers, gets to go on TV. And the other thing about Carl is he brought his cat with him. He happened to be holding his cat while everything happened. And so his cat, Princess Donut, which is actually his ex's cat, but it's his cat, Princess Donut, she is with him, and she can now talk in the dungeons. And she is hilarious. The whole book is honestly really funny. But Princess Donut is, she's a whore for attention. She loves the spotlight, and so she loves watching her follower count go up. And she wants to do all of the most crazy things to try to get more and more followers and get people to like her. And they go on like TV interview shows, kind of like Jimmy Kimmel style shows, talk shows, I guess. After certain big events happen, they're able to be transported out of the dungeon for a brief moment to have a talk, and then they get transported back in, and they get loot boxes and achievements. And it's a really fun, really funny book. It's the genre is lit RPG, I believe, which I've never read anything like this before. It's very similar to Konosuba, the anime. If anybody's watched that, it's very funny. Every character is funny. It's very well written. I love everything about this book. It's an easy 5 out of 5 for me, and I loved it so much that I ended up picking up the second book immediately after. The hardcover actually just came out 2 days ago, and I immediately had gotten it. And the hardcover for book 3 comes out in October, I believe, and I'm going to get that as well. I think I'm going to just jump right into this. It's a little bit shorter than the first book here, but you can barely tell. It's a little bit shorter, but I'm going to immediately jump into this. It's a lot of fun. They're working their way through. They just got through the first book. Really was kind of the tutorial. It's the first couple floors, and they're learning everything and trying to kind of get a feel for how the dungeon works, how to use items and things like that. And so I feel like the rest of the series is going to be a little more fun because they don't have to worry about the tutorial stuff as much. They can just go right into it. Anyway, I'm very excited to continue this series. I highly recommend it to anybody, honestly. It's a really fun time. It's there's a lot of swearing and adult themes in this, just so you know. I actually didn't know that going into this. I thought it was going to be more of a YA kind of book, but it is definitely not. It is mature, it's funny, highly recommend it. I can't say that enough. Anyway, thank you for watching.